Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 273, Lamar Butcher's Bluff.
Well, let's get into it. Once again, I don't know, just by coincidence, we've picked another pig-related killing movie.
Yeah. Well, another masked man.
Masked pig killer. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, maybe this is a trend. I know you mentioned before, maybe we should look into pig killing related movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's a thing. On Tubi, there's a pig lady movie. There's a couple other pig movies. So, well, Lamar, let's get into our first category then. What do we think of the story?
Well, I mean, we'll go back to the trope. Well, this is different because it's not just how do I say this delicately? Less intelligent women going into the woods. Now you have a less intelligent group with men and women going into the woods. They're trying to do a documentary about this killer in Butcher's Bluff, and of course, they go somewhere where they don't have good service, and then they get killed because. But I'll say this, Joe. They're not as dumb as the previous one. Would you say?
No, they're not as dumb.
They're not as dumb. Okay.
I might have missed something. Was their motivation to make the documentary just to go out there and with the girls?
That's okay. We have both worked in production, right? Documentaries, they're not as elaborate as films, but they thought, hey, we can go up there with a little bit of get a camera crew and go shoot some stuff and ask some questions. But for some reason, they brought like a couple of friends who are basically stoners and some women who don't even want to be there and another dude who's banging one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other guy didn't want to be, what if he's like a musician or something? Like he was just there.
He was just there. So maybe they did it just, if we get some downtime,
Sure.
Party.
Whatever. Well, here's the thing, Lamar. Like, I kind of liked the story. Like, it was okay.
I know what you're going to say.
It dragged a little bit here and there. It would come to kind of standstills. When it was moving, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it would come to little pit stops.
Agreed. And that's the weird thing about it because, okay, you can say it's like a typical slasher.
Yeah.
But with that added time, because this was a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it was long.
It made it like those drags just kind of took it down. That's the problem.
Because in the story, the killer of the Butcher's Bluff, there's lore about, and they spend a lot of time harping, explaining the lore, and then it always comes to some kind of standstill,
And the thing about the lore is, didn't they kind of just start to explain it in the middle of the movie? That's the weird part. You would think you would get right into it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what do you give it for story, Lamar?
I'll give it a half point.
I agree. Half point. Our next category, Lamar, is what do we think of the characters?
Maybe I'm biased, but I wasn't annoyed by these characters. You have the stoner, you have the promiscuous women, you have the dude that doesn't want to be there, but he's having sex with one of the girls there. You have the two other people that are very serious about the documentary. You have the sheriff. The creepy store guy was cool. I liked his vibe.
The townsfolk, I guess, here and there. There's a little person that's kind of creepy, I guess.
We do have a legend in this movie, Brink Stevens. Mm-hmm. She's in this movie, so that was cool too.
Yeah, so I think they did a good job of making the characters all different and interesting from each other, unlike the other one that we saw where everyone was just flat.
Yes.
These people, they were all different. Like you said, the stoner, the girls, everybody. So that's always fun. It's a good ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it 1 point for characters. I thought they were okay.
I'm right there with you, giving it a 1.
Well, our next category, Lamar, is what did we think of the Pigman, the villain?
Well, he killed people with the pig mask.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
The lore was cool, though.
Was it? They gave him a backstory. It was is basically what like Rob Zombie's Halloween. Like he was a troubled youth.
Well,
He
we're
was.
not going to go into that discussion, but a lot of these killers are troubled youths.
Yeah, I mean, he was bullied, and it drove him to kill. And then he went to a mental institution, and then he killed to get out of there.
And I mean, it's related. Him being, I'll say this: him being the pig killer is
Hmm.
related to how he was teased for being an overweight child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. The kids when they teased him, they called him pig. So,
Yes. Yeah.
uh, man, I don't know what to think. I mean, he didn't do anything unique. I guess that's what my
No.
problem was. Like, I, I still think like if you're gonna do this gimmick with the pig man, it's got to do something a little more unique.
Mm.
You know, like I don't know. You're
I
not.
didn't hate it. Yeah.
Of all the things in the movie, I was least interested. I think in the villain. I thought the old guy was even a more interesting character and stuff.
That's true.
Because, like you said, okay, he has the backstory that he was bullied because he was heavy. But would it be better if he was bullied because, like, maybe he was born deformed and he looked like a pig or something? Like, like maybe his parents set him out in the barn or something.
But wasn't he also a cannibal? That's cool.
Eh,
Because he's pig, so he eats things. It's not like, oh my gosh, that's so. But
yeah.
what are you giving it, Joe?
I'm gonna half point for villain.
All right, I'm giving it a 1.
Well, our next category, Lamar, is what do we think of the special effects and gore?
Was there any digital in this one? I don't think so.
Not that I saw.
Nope.
I think they did it all practical. It wasn't always the greatest, but it was cool that it was there.
Yes, they had a really cool one. Let's just say someone loses their head, but or half of it, whatever. But yeah, everything is practical. There's no digital stuff. But like you said, it wasn't like inventive, but it was still well done.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just like that it's there, but it was like you could see like they tried real hard with it, and it was cool that they did it. There was a lot of blood and stuff, so nothing really to complain about there. What do you give it?
I'll give it a 1.
I'm giving it 1 too.
Okay.
Well, Lamar, our last category, always the most important category with these slasher films. What do we think of the TNA?
Toppings and appetizers. Well,
Well, it's a pig
yeah,
movie. Maybe we should do something pig related.
I don't know any pig.
Trichinosis.
Whoa, look at the big brain on Joe. I didn't even think of that one.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
there
What are
you
you
go.
talking
Yeah, it's
about?
there, and yeah, it helps. I guess it breaks up the pace. Well, not breaks up the pace, but moves the pace along and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah,
Yeah, nothing left to say. I mean, 1 point.
1 point. Yeah,
Well, Lamar, we tally the score, and this movie gets a 4.25 out of 5.
I mean, if it was shorter,
Yeah.
this would be better. I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was well done.
Mm-hmm.
It was shot really well and all that stuff. It had all the elements. It just could have been a little shorter. They did leave it off with a cliffhanger.
They
So
did.
there's going to be another one, I guess. I'm not sure where they can go with another one. It seems like most of the story has already been told. So
Yeah, that's
it'll
true.
be interesting if what they do with the second one. But, you never know.
Yeah,
Does that wrap it up then, Lamar?
it does.
All right. Peace.
Deuces.